Hello, my name is Christine and I run a vintage shop called Prima Treasures on Etsy. Before we get into the topic I've chosen for today, I wanted to just put out there that, whoever's watching the video, if you're interested in a particular topic that I haven't covered, feel free to leave a comment and let me know, and I'd be happy to do what I can and research some of those things for you. Mostly I'm just picking topics from my own arsenal of stuff I've got in the store and stuff that I've learned about over the years that I think is interesting, but I'm certainly open to suggestions. So anyway, this week I wanted to talk about something that I don't think gets a whole lot of coverage in the vintage world. And to my mind, it's kind of a shame because it has an interesting place in the history of housewares. So a lot of us, we have items in our home that we use in the kitchen or when we're taking things out to picnics and barbecues and such. And a lot of times we fall back on plastic containers to help us in those situations, whether we're storing leftovers in the fridge, whether we're going on an outing and we need to take food with us. We tend to drift towards those plastic tubs. And the thing I wanted to kind of get into is before plastic was widely available for that purpose, the question of, well, what did people do back then? And to a certain extent, they might have reused containers that they got from the store when they bought something. But what I have here on the table is an example of their solution to that problem, not so much in the storage arena, but more in the serveware arena. So before plastic was widely adopted for housewares, the type of product that they would use is what you see here. It is hammered aluminum, and they made it in a variety of different items. So I've put some out here so that you could see them. And what we've got here is, this is just a serving bowl. Then over there on the left side, we've got a round serving tray with a pretty ornate flower decoration kind of embossed into it. Then below that, we've got this cute little handled bread basket, which also has a flower design. I don't know if you can see that in the video. And then over here on the right, we have this very tall water pitcher. And I don't know if you can see it, but they've even added a little ice lip to it. And a lot of these products would have this hammered surface, kind of a hammered texture. In fact, I think in some ways they considered it a feature, because sometimes on the bottom of a piece where you see they put the maker's mark, they would also put hand hammered, hand wrought. So clearly this was something that they felt added value to the items they were making. And then I specifically included this little, it was actually supposed to be a sugar bowl, which I know it doesn't look like that. But I included this little tin right here because one of the things they did, I think later on, to make these items more appealing, more eye-catching, is they started adding colors to it. And the reason I wanted to talk about them, I wish I had more to show, but unfortunately this is the only one I have right now, is they would make a very wide variety of colored items like this in like bright red, bright blue, essentially rainbow colors. And this color is not painted on, it's actually baked onto the surface of the tin so that when you washed it, it was less likely to come off. So that makes it really nice as a colorful item. And I think even in the 50s, a lot of families had like little drinking cups and water cups with the rainbow colored tumblers, the kind of thing you would let your kids use throughout the day. And the nice thing about all of these aluminum items is they're very durable. You can kind of hear that's not like a tin can that we get Coke in today. It is very thick and sturdy. I'm not sure I could crush it. Maybe if I stood on it, but these are all very sturdy items. The metal is very thick on them. Well, not thick like steel or anything like that, but for an aluminum piece, they're very thick and sturdy. They tend to not really get dented. And so from that standpoint, what I think is cool and interesting about them is that if you wanted to have some dishware and serveware that you could use for barbecues and picnics, these items are very decorative. As I said, you can see the ornate flowers they've got on this one, and then right here they've got a flower as the handle. So you can see that they put a lot of time into making them look attractive. Yet at the same time, they are durable. You're not going to hurt them taking them outside. And so I love these in terms of being able to use them as something a little bit more upscale for outdoor situations. And I think it would be great to see more people repurposing them for that situation because, so often we kind of go to the easy paper plates and disposable type products. And these particular items, they're still out there. You can find them in thrift stores. As I said, they're pretty sturdy most of the time. They have a cool look that's a little bit more elevated than, the normal plastic tubs and this kind of thing that we often kind of fall back on for picnics and such. So, if you see something like this in a thrift store, I would consider buying a piece or two and just try it out and see how you like it. The one caveat to using something like this is that if you were to put it in the dishwasher, it would probably discolor the surface a little bit, and depending on how important that was to you, it's not going to hurt it. So, you don't have to worry about damaging it, but it might make it look a little bit less bright and shiny. So that's something to keep in mind if that's important to you. But other than that, this is the kind of thing, if it falls off the table, who cares? It's not really going to get hurt. And they tend to be very inexpensive compared to, something like this. You might go into a Pottery Barn and pay $50. But, you could potentially find this in a thrift store for $5, probably no more than $10. And for something that has this level of durability, I think that's a great buy. So anyway, I also wanted to kind of throw in there just so you have a rough idea. As I said, these were made typically prior to plastics. So you're talking the 40s, 50s, and maybe somewhat into the 60s with the colored ones. If you see anything like this and you want to give it a shot, this would be very much a repurposing and reusing kind of situation. And I think, certainly a meaningful upgrade to plasticware that's disposable and paper plates and this kind of thing. So keep it in mind. If you find something, take a chance, buy it.